Morning everybody, Crypto Strang here. Just going to go over the latest news in the altcoin world. Obviously been a lot going on the last couple of weeks with the massive pumps in the market, and today we've had a massive drop. The market cap basically dropped about 40 billion. Unfortunately, that's the way of the crypto world. We've had such a rapid rise. Yesterday every project was up so much, and then overnight we've literally had this massive dump. So still a lot of news going on obviously out there. Yearn Finance, first point here on Cointelegraph, announces another merger with the Cream Lending Protocol. I wish I got involved with Yearn Finance when it first came out, because obviously Wi-Fi is on such a tear at the moment, rapidly going up the charts. It states here 2 days after Yearn Finance and Pickle Finance joined forces in DeFi's first effective merger, Yearn founder Andre Conja published details of another upcoming integration with Cream, a lending protocol similar to Compound and Aave. So it looks like Yearn Finance is going strength for strength. Been a fantastic year for them, obviously. It states here Yearn users will be able to put their Vault tokens, their share, in a yield farming strategy fund as collateral to borrow on Cream. Furthermore, farming strategies will be able to access leverage on the platform, potentially increasing their yield. So Yearn Finance, unbelievable year, as I say. Certainly an incredible project. So another one here we looked interesting was Chinese blockchain infrastructure provider blockchain-based service BSN has integrated cross-chain protocol Polkadot, we spoke about many times, cloud computing startup Oasis, and China-based public chain project Bit1 into its network. Again, fantastic news for Polkadot. I think as time develops, I think Polkadot and Cardano will really, one day overtake Ethereum, unless Ethereum does make 2.0 extra special. When I spoke about the other day, let's see how Polkadot's many projects now built on Polkadot, and the fact this Chinese blockchain provider has now took on Polkadot as well. Again, massive news. So also stated there, we anticipate Polkadot to be used by developers across the world to build and run industry protocols and applications. And that was the co-founder Parity Controls behind Polkadot. So let's see how they progress. But Chinese state-sanctioned blockchain project, that is incredible for Polkadot to be selected. That's massive news for them. Going on crypto news, just the delistings, I always find this quite interesting. I just joined Bilaxi purely. I done a video the other day about a few projects, and two of them Morph and CFI, and both these projects are on Bilaxi, so I joined the exchange just for this. Now, I found a Bilaxi okay, very, very similar to the old Binance layout, to be honest. I believe they are Chinese based as well. It's worked fine. It took me ages to get my Morph with the trading, took for ages for it to be filled. Anyway, you can see there the listings on Bilaxi. They've added Swag as well and Share Token. Their projects look interesting. But Binance also, going on to Binance, they've listed Small Up Potion, SLP, would you believe? Ren BTC, need to look into that. They've added some new trading pairs. Other sort of major exchanges. Bitmart have added a project I spoke about recently, INJ, was basically doubling price literally in a month when I've done a video, and it's just done fantastic. They've also added NEM official. We'll talk about them in a minute. I thought they were dead and buried a while ago, but they seem to be doing all right now. So Bittrex, they've added ALTCOIN. I know there's big hype about that, a project in Africa, and they want the whole cities to run on the ALTCOIN. We'll see how that develops. But you can see there's so many exchanges. Hotbit, look how much Hotbit have added. Audius, spoke of that briefly a while ago. Loopring, which I really like. That Loopring's actually on Coinbase, and that's a wonderful project. And you can see like Huobi BTC is on Hotbit, which I found was a bit bizarre. But you go through and there's so many. Huobi have just listed Staffy, FIS. KU Coin have added Sharing, another great project. You just scroll through and just so many exchanges now. Absolutely incredible. So I say Bilaxi, literally just joined. It seems okay. Claims to have like over 230 million of trading per day. I assume that's correct. Who's me? Who am I to doubt it? But that's what they state. Going on Blockfolio, their blog. I love this blog with the latest news, etc. You can see there, companies now own 843,229 Bitcoin, over 4.5% of the current supply. They're basically holding it. It's like the online gold, as they say. That's what people think. So, you also get a Binance files US lawsuit against Forbes and two crypto journalists. I know quite a few people who are based in America and have got emails from Binance saying that they can't use their site anymore. I thought they had Binance.us. I don't know if it's related to that, but I know a lot of people have had issues with their Binance. I'm sure they'll get resolved. One thing here, though, the top Blockfolio signals was the fact NEM announced its free strategic partnerships. Now, if I remember, NEM, when it was last year before, they'd sort of run out of money, but it's still a project in the top 50. It's still doing really well, and it states here, excited to announce a strategic partnership with Bido Chain, a decentralized stablecoin. It's also announced partnership with Transact, the fiat off on ramp platform. It's also with MyCointainer, a staking service platform. So it seems to be doing okay. So they're still out there. I used to own NEM a long time ago. I don't hold any now. Again, just see how they develop. Maker reaches 1 billion DAI. Ren announces release of multi-chain into Ren VM. I do own Ren. I do hold quite a bit of Ren. I love the project. I think it's going to be great in 2021. Ocean Protocol, we mentioned before, integrates secret network. Blockstack, mentioned that a few times before. STX announces Staked will be Stack's 2.0 partner. Elastos, that's an old that's the one for the last bull run, isn't it? Shadow Token's cross-chain bridge goes live in beta, so Elastos, still like Elastos, still hold it. Not much, let's be honest, small bag, but let's hope it just does well in 2021. Interesting story on blog.coinbase, Coinbase's official blog. Basically, they've issued this today. In the spirit of transparency, we're sharing an internal email that was sent to our employees earlier today. Basically, they've been told that the New York Times is planning to publish a negative story about Coinbase at some point in the next few days online, and it will appear in print on Sunday. So what they've done, they've reacted to this and they've sent an email to all their employees, but they've shared it on their blog. And it basically says they want to give you a heads up that the New York Times is planning to publish a negative story about Coinbase. The Times told us they plan to publish a story on Sunday. As many of you know, Nathaniel Popper reports that the Times has been reaching out to current and former employees for their story over the last several weeks. It's now clear that the story alleged that several black employees had negative experience at Coinbase, so they're going down the old race route. That's what the New York Times are doing. It's obviously extremely disappointing to see that in this day and age. Jesus, Anyway, although we generally don't alert the company to upcoming negative media stories, the exec team and I felt it was important to provide this heads up, an important context because of the story's focus and because it may be read by your friends, family, professional contacts. So basically, they're quite concerned. They're saying they don't care what New York Times thinks, but obviously worried about the negative press this will cause. So the story will likely quote from the former Coinbase employees and a former contractor by name and include photos of some of them. All four had left Coinbase by the end of the second quarter 2019. So they've obviously got the heads up what the story's going to be about. It's obviously relating to Black Lives Matter, etc. It's just pretty sad that the sort of, this story's out there. It will have, a bit of negativity news for Coinbase, but that's why they've put this email out. So you go through it, and it's obviously going to be quite negative. It's the whole point of the story is to sort of damage Coinbase reputation here with some of them. It's obviously some very disgruntled ex-employees. So the final thoughts, in general, we should expect more, not less media coverage, both positive and negative as we grow. I'm sorry you have to deal with these types of questions and comments again. I know it's frustrating and distracting. Let's keep focused on building an amazing company together. So let's see exactly what the story. I'll go online this Sunday on New York Times and see if I can read it and see exactly what they're stating, but perhaps it's just disgruntled, bitter and twisted ex-employees, but who knows. On crypto slate, great news this week. Done a video the other day on Cardano. I know I'll go about it a lot. It's going to be absolutely fantastic 2021. I saw his interview the other day as well on YouTube where he spoke about the deals in Africa, specifically Ethiopia. He also stated that they've basically been trying to negotiate with a debit card providers, and 7 times to negotiate, all to fall flat in the face and the companies go bust. He wants improved staking experience. He's talking about Shelley 1.5 in the new year. So many different development teams. He was talking about the overall view, and for literally nearly 30 minutes, he spoke about the passion and why it's better than Polkadot, why it's completely different to Ethereum. He really was really passionate speech. So check that out online. It was actually with Crypto Crow. Excellent. It went over 2 hours. They didn't purely speak about Cardano for 2 hours, talk about everything about life. I even saw some of the comments. Can you guys actually talk about Cardano? But it was good insight. Excellent read. And all the comments. There's so much passion out there for Cardano. But even this news article states, and it does it as regularly as AMAs. But with a week left before the official November product update, Giles Hoskinson, as we know, the CEO of IRHK, took to you to share a brief glimpse of what's been accomplished at Cardano this month. Hodgkins said that the regular update will take place at the end of November, so we should get it hopefully this week, while a bigger end-of-year update will happen December the 10th. So that's when I hope we get the updated roadmap for the public sector to hear some major announcements coming from the company. So since the launch of Shell in July this year, the teams at IRHK have been coming out each month with a product update, briefing the community on what has been achieved in the previous weeks. One thing I also say on YouTube, if you subscribe to IRHK, they give the real thorough updates, really in-depth updates on how they're progressing with likes of Gongwen and Shelley, etc. And it's a really good insight, very in-depth. So that's worth watching. So I suppose December the 10th is going to be the day where we want the sort of big news, you know. Aside from going for all the companies from the year, the company will said to make some big announcements. Hoshkin believes will surprise the community. So, you know, we all spoke about the rumours. Coinbase, I think that'll be March, April once Gongon's released. He also mentioned on the video the other day where recently we heard it was 90 plus partnerships. He's now talking about 110 plus commercial partnerships. So perhaps we can hear about some of those. Again, he's talking about Africa. He's talking about African governments. So it's absolutely huge. So progress is really made, and we've mentioned many times, been very patient. But I think 2021 is the year for Cardano. So only time will tell. You'll also get on the Trezor hardware wallet now. This will be integrated. So let's just see what happens. Look forward to the hopefully some news this week, and also December the 10th is going to be the big news. Depending how big news it is, I'm sure it will pump the price again. It's been an absolute tear lately. Cardano, we nearly touched 18 cents the other day, but I say overnight we had a massive drop. At the moment it's just about 13.5 cents. So it is what it is. But remember, it was literally just below 3 cents back in March. So we're doing good. Another what's happening overnight with the Bitcoin dumping, it's lost like over $2,500–3,000. BC dumps as Coinbase CEO mentions potential US regulations for crypto wallets. They think, you know, veterans will say it's the same story as the rest, but Bitcoin has been met by regulatory FUD or the prospects of a ban where the asset price go parabolic. When it's in the national news, it's been used in the UK because it's approaching its all-time high. You know, reached the mainstream news. And people say, "Oh, Bitcoin, you know, that was the one that crashed in 2018. Yeah, it's died many times, but it hasn't. You know, it's still out there, and a lot of average day people didn't realise that Bitcoin was approaching its all-time high again. It's not obviously there yet, but it's certainly getting there. So basically, the Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong, he reckons there might be a plan to sort of look into the Bitcoin and crypto wallets in the country. So again, time will tell. That obviously would be damaging news, but as before, Bitcoin would just overcome any issues and get through it. Going on to CoinMarketCap, the top gainers and losers. You can see over the last 7 days, Penta, never heard of Penta, and it's up nearly 6,000% in a week. Absolutely incredible. The volume last 24 hours is just 500,000 though, so it's probably going to dump massively after this, I assume, but no one knows. Bitcoin God, look at that one. Another project with Bitcoin in the name purely, it's the only reason it does it. UN Finance Dot there, you can see there's not many others in there. There's a few projects here that I've heard about. A lot of them are just say purely pump and dumps, as we always say. You can see the volume is so low on some of these. Look at Bonk. It's up 140%, but the volume last 24 hours is 82,000. So classic pump and dump. But wonderful project there. Horizon ZEN, you know, that's up 116% now, $13.22. Ontology Gas, you know, up 116%. Obviously, you get that if you hold Ontology, you get free Ontology Gas. CFI, I actually done a video the other day. It looked a really interesting project, and I've done well since I first got into it. You know, literally less than a week, and it's up to $5.20. It's 110%. So I've done a dedicated video the other day. So I really like the project. In fact, it was such a low cap. I think it was like the max cap was like 2 million, and at the moment it's like 600,000 if I remember. Stellar, there's an old project, you know, from the last ball. It's like 104%. And Tendies, again, I spoke about that the other day. Done the video the other day, I think it was like 3 cents or whatever, and actually yesterday was up to over 9 cents. We're just below 8 at the moment, still up nearly 96%. So Tendies, again, very different project. I've done a video the other day on Tendies, and it's different to what I normally get involved with, but I think this Tendies is great for taking profits. That's just my personal opinion. You can see from the losers on the right hand side, many NIF-NAF projects as usual. Nothing really to look into there. What I like about it, they've remodeled this top gains and lose on CoinMarketCap. And if you scroll across here, you can actually see the gains and losers in like the top 100 or the 500. So let's go to the top 100, top gainers. Yeah, Horizon, Stellar, XRP, 82%. Verge, God, that's a project going back from the last bull run. You know, I used to own a lot of Verge, don't own any of it now. Status, again, mentioned Status before. Great project. NANO, NEM, we spoke about briefly earlier. Ampleforth, do a dedicated video still on Ampleforth. It's very much of a volatile year. It reached over like $4 in the space of no time. They went down. Cardano, 30%. Kusama, another great project. VET, VE Chain, another one. Zilliqa, Icon. You know, people watched me before, saying that's my second favourite project. Qtum's another one of my favourites. IOTA. You know, IOTA was a great project in the last bull run. Again, I thought it'd run out of steam, but They do seem to be announcing some partnerships and getting on. Elrond, now EGLD, Holo, Hot, God, these all the projects I've heard about so much. Algorand, I've mentioned, Ontology. I don't know an EOS anymore, but you can see, these solid projects, massive growth in the last week. But in the top 100, the top losers, actually Ocean Protocol, down 20%. Yearn Finance, now we spoke about earlier, just announced that merger. You can see the volume in the last 24 hours, 690 million. Wonderful project. Even though it's dropped that, it's had a incredible time in the last few months. AVE dropped 15%. Again, these are all just up and down. We know how volatile the market is. Wonderful, even Chainlink's dropped 6%. Anyway, so many projects there. But going back to Penta, it was going 6,000% in 7 days. I'd never heard of it. So I had a quick look at it. It's ranked 131. You can see there it's 0.003. When you scroll down here and see the prices, less than a week ago, it was 0.00036. So it really has had an absolute tear and up 6,000%. I tried to look into why it's pumped and what the news is. You can see the circulating supply is roughly half. Market cap is 63 million. Go on market pairs, and it was on some very big ones. It's on like Huobi, Hit BTC. I'm not a fan of, but it's on there as well. But the biggest volume is actually on ChainX, which I've never heard of. But the fact it was on Huobi was great news. But I went on their website. The website's actually down at the moment, so I have to keep my eye on that. Because it's gone up such a crazy amount, I would expect this to have a massive drop. But who knows? It may have some massive announcement. That's the reason it's smashed through the top 200. Is now ranked 131. But if I was a betting man, I'd say this is probably going to have a massive drop over the next few days because it's such a pump. But obviously, that's just life-changing money if someone knew about this, but you're not, are we? But Penta, PNT, I'll keep my eye on that, see how they develop. But overall, as you can see, this week, so at the moment, the market's 514. The other day was 575. So it's had a massive drop. You can see there, Bitcoin touched over 19,000. At the moment, 17,331. I know I don't talk about Bitcoin much. I don't own Bitcoin. It's just me personally. I know it's the daddy and all that, as I said before. I don't own Ethereum. I don't own XRP. I sold XRP back in height of 2018 bull run. Never got back into XRP. It's not one for me. I don't own Tether. Never had Tether. Bitcoin trash, or cash, I say. I never touched that. And Chainlink's obviously one of my favourites. Litecoin. I haven't held Litecoin for a long time. Again, I sold it the last bull run. Never got back into it. I know Litecoin is one of the major ones, and even PayPal, when they talked about cryptocurrency projects, it was the same old ones: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin. I personally don't see how Litecoin's developing. I know it's got a huge community, but again, time will tell. Obviously, Cardano, Polkadot, my favourites. Binance Coin, fantastic. Stellar, don't own Stellar anymore. BSV, never own that. EOS, no. So Tron, I'll never touch that again. Monero, fantastic. Tezos, great. Crypto.com Coin. And NEM, spoke about earlier, I have to get back into it. It's done well. So you see there's so much passion in even the top 20 alone, so much divide there. What's the best projects? Some people criticise you if you're not owning any Bitcoin or Ethereum, but it's all our personal opinion. All depends what you want. So it's just a quick video to go over the latest news. Anyone need any help whatsoever in crypto, email me info@cryptostrang.com. Help any way I can. My social media links below. Hit me up. Comment below. Tell me some new projects. Tell me another Penta. That'd be great. Just great from here from you. Thanks very much. Cheers. Bye.